Hey everyone, I'm Onita. Welcome to my channel. This video I'm going to be talking to you about all the series I want to read in 2023. We do have some series that I have read from previous years or even last year and I want to continue on with, so we will get onto those right now. The first one is the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. It follows Claire. She is a war nurse and her husband go on a second honeymoon to Scotland to rekindle their love because I believe World War II or whatever had just finished. They go to Scotland for their second honeymoon and Claire goes on a day trip somewhere. She stumbles upon these stones. She presses her hands up against them and she travels back to either 17th or 18th century Scotland where she meets Jamie Fraser and oh my gosh, a love blossoms between them. Historical fiction romance, really good, and the books are getting really long now. They're getting to like the 1000 plus page territory. We then have Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I can't believe I didn't continue on with this series last year because of how much I love the first one. It follows Selena. She is a prisoner in the salt mines of Endovia. And someone, I think a prince or someone comes up to her and says, you can get your freedom. You can get out of this place if you become the king's champion. So it's basically her training to become a champion to this king so she can win her freedom back because no matter what, she is going to get her freedom. She is going to get out of Endovia where she is very much a slave. I then have the Dune Chronicles by Frank Herbert. I do want to continue on with this series after really enjoying the first one. And it follows House Atreides, especially Paul Atreides. He and his family are now owners of this planet called Arrakis, and Arrakis has this spice, and it has very special properties. If you consume this spice, you gain its powers, and if you gain control over this planet with the spice controls the galaxy, controls how things are run in the galaxy. And House Harkonnen were the previous owners of this planet. They don't like the Atreides family taking over. They want to rule, they want to reign, they want everything. And so they decide to sabotage the Atreides family, and it's a good time. It's very sci-fi, very dense, epic sci-fi. It's politically heavy. Bye! It's heavy in politics, it's heavy in sci-fi. I really thoroughly enjoyed this first book and I want to continue on with the second and the third and the fourth, fifth, and sixth books in the series. I would also like to finish off the Wayfarer Quartet by Becky Chambers. The first one was The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet, and this series is a bunch of standalones and it follows the same characters that you see in the first one. And the first one follows Rosemary. She is escaping from her past. She comes aboard this ship called the Wayfarers to help out around a little bit. This little ship, this crew punches holes in space so that people can travel from one end of space to another without spending decades to get there. I do also want to continue on with the Hussite trilogy. The first one was Tower of Fools. I've already read this one. And the second and third one, it's a trilogy. The second one is Warriors of God, and the third one is Light Perpetual. These are historical fiction fantasy books about a part of European history that I had no idea about, and it's definitely Polish history. And I really enjoyed the first one. I do want to continue on with books 2 and 3. The second one is more chunkier than the third one. So if I get to the second one pretty quickly, I should be able to get the third one and get that finished. Then I also want to finish off the Walking Dead Compendiums with Volume 4. This is Volume 1. The fourth one is on its way. And it follows a group of people who try to survive a zombie apocalypse. Pretty simple. There are some really good storylines in here. And I really want to finish it off. The fourth one is the last one. And it'll be a series to have ticked off my list. These next books are series that I want to start and finish in their entirety in the year of 2023. I don't want it to finish within a certain point. I want a year to get through these series. The first one is The Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansson. It is the first in a trilogy. This synopsis, excuse me for twisting around, this synopsis is pretty long. But what I can have a guess. Well, on the tagline on the front cover it says, her throne awaits if she can live long enough to take it. So it follows Kelsey. She's the sole heir to the throne of Tearling, but has been raised in secret after her mother, a monarch as vain as she was foolish, was murdered for ruining her kingdom. Kelsey's uncle has been ruling as as regent, but he is like a puppet, so he's not really doing anything, he's just following orders, it seems like. But on Kelsey's 19th birthday, her guards, or her mother's guards, which have pledged to defend the Queen, decide it's time for her to come out and say, hey, I'm the Queen's daughter, and this is my throne, bitch, get the fuck off, kind of thing. I think that's what it is. I don't think her mother was very nice or something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's pretty much the basics of it. It's a long ass plot, and I have been talking for like an hour now, and my throat is like, I've had enough. Now, this one is a little bit of a shorter plot, and I can read it to you. So this next one, The Bear and the Nightingale, it is the first book in the Winternight trilogy by Catherine Arden. I've wanted to read this for a little while too. Beware the evil in the woods. In a village at the edge of the wilderness of northern Russia, where the winds blow cold and the snow falls many months of the year, an elderly servant tells stories of sorcery, folklore, and the Winter King to the children of the family. Tales of old magic frowned upon by the church. But for young wild Vasya, these are far more than just stories. She alone can see the house spirits that guard her home and sense the growing forces of dark magic in the woods. See, short, sweet, simple plot. That's what we love, people. But this one seems really interesting, as are all of the books that I want to read. Malice by John Gwynne. Another one I've heard such incredible things about John Gwynne, and I'm getting a bit of FOMO. So it looks like there's this prophecy of war. The Banished Lands is like a loose collection of kingdoms, apparently. Do I want to go into this one blindly? Okay, so it says, High King Aquilus, or Aculus, or whatever, summons his fellow kings to council, seeking an alliance in this time of need. Prophecy indicates darkness and light will determine two champions, the Black Sun and the Bright Star. They would be wise to seek out both, for if the Black Sun gains ascendancy, mankind's hopes and dreams will fall to dust. But now the giant... Oh my god, there's giants? There's a ruin... Like, the giant clans were broken in ages past. Their ruined fortresses still carry the land. But now giants stir anew, their very stones weep blood, and there are sightings of giant worms. Those who can still read the signs see a threat far greater than the ancient wars. Sorrow will darken the world as angels and demons make it to their battlefield. There will be a war to end all wars. Okay, I don't need to read more. I'm incredibly hyped. Incredibly hyped. That's actually really good, to be honest. And I need a drink, so I'll be back. Okay, so these next 3 series are going to be series that I wanted to read last year. Didn't get the chance to. We have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. It follows... Okay, so what I know is a king, a really bad evil king, has been ruling over this kingdom or empire for 200 years, I believe. Kelsier is a Mistborn, I believe. Mistborns can ingest all the metals and gain all of their powers from the metals. Misterlings or something like that can only ingest one type of metal and only gain powers from that one metal. He enlists the help of some people to help defeat this really bad king, this really bad fella, okay? I think it's like a heist, from what I heard someone saying. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I wanted to read this last year as well, didn't get a chance to, like I had just said. And it follows Ren, I believe her name is. She is an orphan, she has darker skin complexion than other people around her, so it's a little bit hard for her. Like, life is a little bit more difficult for her. She enrolls into this military school, and people can't believe it when she actually succeeds. She is accepted into this military school, and she is very good, apparently. She has these other special powers that make her better than other people, or something like that, if I believe. Then the Raven's Shadow trilogy, starting with Bloodsong by Anthony Ryan. All I know is that this is military fantasy. I don't know too much else about it. It's probably got war, death, gore, you know, all the good stuff that we love in fantasy. Then we have the Thomas Cromwell trilogy, and the first one is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. I have wanted to read this for a while, and I'm finally getting around to it. I believe it's historical fiction. I don't believe it's fantasy at all. And it follows Thomas Cromwell, and he was this really, I don't know if really intense, if public figure is the right word, but I know he was a public figure, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. And it's about him. He was like really, oh gosh, okay, I think I'm gonna have to not stretch my brain too much and actually do your research. So yeah, Cromwell is a wholly original man, the son of a brutal blacksmith, a political genius, a briber, a charmer, a bully, a man with a delicate and deadly expertise in manipulating people and events. Ruthless in pursuit of his own interests, oh for goodness sake, he is as ambitious in his wider politics as he is for himself. His reforming agenda is carried out in the grip of a self-interested parliament and a king who fluctuates between romantic passions and murderous rages. But I didn't tell you that the first part of the plot, of the synopsis I should say, is England, the 1520s, Henry VIII is on the throne but has no heir. Cardinal Wolsey is his chief advisor charged with securing the divorce the Pope refuses to grant. Into this atmosphere of distrust and need comes Thomas Cromwell, first as Wolsey's clerk and later his successor. And then it gets into what I had just said about him being quite a fellow. And the reason why that this is on the top of my list is because sadly the author has passed away, and I thought, well, what a better time to read her books when she's leaving such an incredible legacy behind. I've heard really great things about Hilary Mantel and her books and her writing, and it's about time I actually get into her books. I then have the Arawiya? I have this duology here, starting with We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars, is the second one by Hafsa Faizal. It is young adult. Zafira is the hunter. Forced to disguise herself as a man, she seeks everything to provide for her people. Nasir is the Prince of Death, a feared assassin who was forever bound to the command of his father, the Sultan. Both are legends in their kingdom, but neither wants to be. And when Zafira embarks on a dangerous quest to return magic to their suffering land, Nasir is sent on a similar mission, but as their journey unfolds, an ancient evil begins to stir. And I love foiling on covers. I'm like a moth to a flame when I see gold foiling on a cover. It's just so stunning. But yeah, duology should be quick and easy, just like this next book, or the last book I should be saying that I will be talking to you about, which is the Six of Crows duology, and it follows a group of people. I can't remember who they are anymore, but it's a heist. That's all I know, and it's not even a duology anymore. There's going to be a third one. I do know that the Shadow of Bone series, like the TV series, has the crows in it, and I believe the crows and that storyline in that TV show was more like a prequel, and in the second one it will actually follow like the main plot, the main storyline in the books. I don't know. Look, I'm hoping to really enjoy the Six of Crows duology. I did not enjoy the Shadow and Bone trilogy as much. I thought it was just fine. It was fine. The third one was such a letdown. Nikolai was done dirty. I love Nikolai so much. He was done dirty in the third book. And now I'm kind of wanting to read his duology as well, but I'll read the Six of Crows one first, and then I'll see how I feel about his second duology, which is about him. My poor baby Nikolai. He's done dirty. I didn't like it. Look, I had wanted to talk to you about rereads I want to do, but I'll squeeze it in for next year or something like that. Or maybe I should try squeeze it in for this year. For this month, I mean. I don't know. I'll let you know either way. And this is the end of the video. Let me know, what books are you excited for me to read? Let me know, what series are you going to be reading in 2023? I would really like to know. Are you going to be revisiting any of these? Are you going to read other series? Please let me know. I'm always looking for recommendations. I'm a series reader. I'm a series girly. So please let me know down below in the comments. And with that being said, I'll see you later.